I'm live in the bedroom where I wrote the UnSlut Project almost 20 years ago. This is Emily Lindin, and via Wattpad and the new app Periscope, I'm going to show you where I kept my diaries when I was in middle school and was labeled the school slut. I would really appreciate any comments or questions you have as I give you a little tour of what my life used to be like while I was writing what has now become the UnSlut Project on Wattpad. Any questions you have or comments I will try to get to, and otherwise this will be posted so you can interact with it later. I really hope that you get a kick out of this because it's kind of crazy for me to be going back in time almost 20 years to when I was actually writing these diaries that have now become the UnSlut Project on Wattpad. So let's get started. You don't want to see my face for that much more, I think, so let me start this tour. Okay. Let's start right here with this empty space. This is where my middle school diaries were every time I came home to my parents' house. Where I now live is out in California, and my parents still live, obviously, in the house where I grew up. So my middle school diaries were always right here, just staring at me, waiting for me to read them. And when I finally opened them up, I realized what I had been going through was a really common experience, and that's being labeled a slut and having it nearly ruin your life. So now I don't write here anymore, but this is where I used to come, grab my diary from right about here, and come over here to this bed, sit down Indian style in my little princess drapes here, and write about all the feelings I was having that were related to being labeled a slut and what I was going through. Let's go back over here, because even though my diaries aren't here anymore, there are some artifacts from the late 90s that are really related to my writing process back then when I was in middle school. And let's first start up here with these CDs, which are ridiculous. I haven't even looked at these in forever. Let's see. I used to listen to Hanson a lot. So here's this Hanson CD. It's not even in there. Middle of Nowhere. That would probably be playing while I was writing in my diary. And kind of coping with everything I was going through as I was in middle school. Down here, I just found this journal that I didn't fill out that much, but I think my mother gave it to me to try to like help me cope with all the stuff I was going through. So I've dog-eared a couple of pages because I think they're pretty funny. Let's see. This first one just like asks you leading questions. This is my writing from when I was in middle school. Falling in love. What's your definition of love? On 7/3/2000, I wrote, when you are lucky enough to find someone who makes you happier than you've ever been before, you can't imagine living without them, and you don't want to. You understand each other and care for each other with all your heart. You know you are in love when the reality of your love is better than any dream. Oh, look at the way I used to write. It's so funny. My writing does not look like that anymore at all. Let's see if there's one more page that I actually wrote on, because most of it's empty. Most of the time I was just keeping my own diaries. Do you believe there's one perfect person for you? There are probably many. I still believe that. If so, list the qualities that person will possess. Handsome, loves me unconditionally, faithful, smart, deep, funny, loves to touch and hug, respects me and understands me. Okay, middle school Emily. I still pretty much believe all those things. I'll put that back down there. Let's see what else we have here. I showed you my CDs. Oh, mixtapes. These aren't a thing anymore. I told you we were going back in time, right? So here we go. I used to make mixtapes like it was my job. Rapper's Delight is on this mixtape. Oh my goodness. This is ridiculous. Anyway, I used to make mixtapes, put them on my boombox, and always have music playing while I was writing in my diary in middle school. What else do we have? Oh my gosh, Mariah Carey. Music box. And LFO, Summer Girls. This is ridiculous. I don't know what's on this disposable camera, but Some of the pictures that I reference in the UnSlut Project were taped into my diary. So I used to use disposable cameras. If you're a teenager now, you might never have seen one of these before, but you have to like turn this dial. And I used to take pictures of all my friends, tape them into my diaries, and apparently I never got this one developed, so I probably should, just to see what's on it. What else do I want to show you? Oh, as you know, if you read the UnSlut Project, I was grounded an awful lot of my life while I was in middle school. It was one of the punishments my parents often just turned to when I would disobey them or lie about where I was. One of the things I did when I was grounded before the internet was as widely accessible as it is now was make collages. So I would cut out pictures from magazines, like these are couples that I found in magazines, and make these ridiculous collages and hang them all over my room. So if you read in my diary about how I was grounded all the time, this is what I was doing. Let's see what else. Oh, let's go over to my bookcase. So these are some of the books that I had on my bookcase. I mean, they haven't been moved for almost 20 years. And these are some good ones. So let's start with Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret by Judy Blume. If you haven't read this, you should. Picture Book of Saints. So when I was growing up, I was really religious, and I was raised Catholic, and I started questioning that in middle school, but I had a picture book of saints apparently, and that's hilarious. What other books did I like to read? Let's see. Oh, I loved 9 Stories by J.D. Salinger. This is a good one, but it probably wasn't until high school that I picked this one up. R.L. Stine, the Fear Street series. Look at how ratty this book is from how many times I read it. I was obsessed with R.L. Stine when I was in middle school. And it wasn't just writing, but reading that really helped me cope with being labeled the school slut. And I'm not sure I wrote about that much in my diary, so you might not have known that, but now you do. I have one more bookcase full of stuff that I used to read. So let's see. Sophie's World was one of my favorite books. It was assigned in school, and it's about all different philosophers and philosophies from all over the world to try to help you understand where we are and the way the world is. And I really, that book moved me a lot. Poems by Maya Angelou. This was one of the most influential, oh my gosh, I loved Maya Angelou from a young age. She really spoke to me, and I miss her in the world. Let's see what else. Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance. I read this book when I was in middle school, and it didn't mean much to me at all. I've read it again as an adult, and I recommend that you do too, because this is one of my favorite books in the world now. Here's more Fear Street. R.L. Stine. This is amazing. I mean, I'm sorry because this is a live broadcast, and I probably should have looked through some of these before, but I'm rediscovering this and kind of going back in time with you too. And it's so funny for me to have these books in my hands that I haven't picked up for almost 20 years and remembering what they meant to me when I was writing here in this room. So let me flip the camera again. School, I would come in here and escape from everything that was kind of going on in my life and how I had been labeled a slut, and I didn't feel like I had anyone I could really talk to. I would come in, go over to my bookshelf, grab my diary, and then I would just write. And it really helped me cope. And I go under these, go back inside these princess gauzy curtains where I used to kind of cuddle up with my diary and confess everything that was going on in my life, and really just use writing as a tool to overcome my reputation and the struggle. Before I end this broadcast, let's see. What else should I show you? Sorry, my room's kind of a mess. That influenced me as a child. Let's end on a couple of funny books, okay? Because in addition to these wonderful works of literature that I was reading and that were kind of influencing the way that I wrote, I was also reading some romance novels. And I'm not actually embarrassed of that. I read this book, The Reef by Nora Roberts. I have no idea what it's about anymore, but I know that I wasn't allowed to read it. And I had to kind of hide it under my bed because there were sex scenes in it. This one too, French Silk. I don't know where I got this book. It's hardcover, but I remember there was a scene in it where they described orgasms and sex, and I was so embarrassed of that I would read it and then hide it under my bed. So my parents didn't know that I was reading it. They probably thought I was just reading, you know, fine literature that was assigned to me in school. But honestly, all of these books provided me with, I don't know, the inspiration to write myself, and the vocabulary and the terms that I needed to kind of put words to the feelings that I was having. And the books that I read as a child, I will never forget them. And I, despite, you know, telling you 2 seconds ago that I forgot what The Reef is about, because honestly, I haven't thought about that book in a really long time. But books like Fahrenheit 451, oh my gosh. Chicken Soup for the Teenage Soul. Chicken Soup for the Teenage Soul Journal. I don't even know what that means. A second helping of Chicken Soup for the Soul. I mean, these books really, they provided me with the inspiration to know that, you know, writing about stuff can really help you cope with it. And I did that when I was in middle school and living in this bedroom. I continue to do it. I hope that getting a little tour back in time with me has, I don't know, revealed to you a little about what it was like to be me when I was keeping these diaries and writing what has now become the UnSlut Project. So thanks for joining me. And if you have any questions or want to talk about this more, or if you're interested in discovering more in my childhood bedroom that I haven't shown you in this video, I hope that you'll get in touch with me on Wattpad. I'm going to get back under here, and I'm probably going to write something, because even though now I live in California and I don't live here anymore, I don't write in this space anymore, I kind of want to again. Just talking to you about it has inspired me to do that. So thank you for joining me, and this is Emily Lindin of the UnSlut Project saying bye.